I'm David. Nice to meet you.
I'm Andy. Nice to meet you too.
So, what brings you here today?
So my daughter, she was killed by our neighbor's little girl who shot her in the head.
Okay. And just so I get a little bit more of a better understanding, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Can you tell me a little bit about your family?
So I have a wife and a daughter. Our daughter's name is Sydney. We live in a nice little neighborhood. We were really happy about where we were living. We had neighbors. Hayden is the father, and then Jessie is the daughter. Sydney and Jessie became pretty close. They spent a lot of time together. That was Sydney's first actual friend, I would say. She didn't have many friends at school. She just kind of stayed to herself. She was on the computer a lot, stuff like that. My wife Lee, she grew up around the countryside. I was in the Navy. Yeah, it's kind of a basic background.
And what's your job right now?
Let's see. I work in an advertisement agency.
Gotcha. So obviously you mentioned that your daughter was shot and killed. Can you tell me a little bit about the events that led up to it and the actual events that happened the day she was attacked?
Sure. I was actually out of town. I was out of town on business, and my wife was home. Jessie had come over and was spending time with Sydney, and my wife had to go. She had to go into work, and it was urgent, so she left Sydney and Jessie home alone, which was fine because Sydney was 11 years old, so she's been home alone, and my wife asked the neighbor to keep an eye on her. And so they got a call, or my wife got a call, and from an officer that said, you need to come home right away, something's happened. And then the officer wouldn't tell her what happened on the phone, and then she got home, she ran inside, there was a bunch of police officers outside, and she saw our daughter underneath a white sheet, and she was dead.
Was Jessie still in your house at that point in time?
Yes, she was.
And did your wife talk to her at all, or?
My wife she was very frantic. She wasn't very happy. Jessie's father actually came over shortly after my wife got home, and my wife said that it was Jessie's fault and stuff of that nature.
Okay. And do you want anything to come out of our representation in terms of seeing a verdict of any kind?
I want Jessie to be liable for what she did. Jessie and Hayden.
Mm-hmm. And is the weapon that was used, obviously you mentioned that there was a gun, is it in a secure location in your house?
Yes, it is a 6-shot 9mm revolver by A.D. Baker and Company. We keep it locked in a safe. It's about a 100-pound safe that we have secured to the wall in our bedroom, and it's a 3 number combination keypad, and then we keep the combination written down in a drawer in our office, and then we keep the bullets in the garage on a shelf.
And a child, say Sydney or Jessie's age, shouldn't have really been able to have reached any of those.
Correct.
Things. Okay. And was Sydney aware of the gun and where you cut various things relating to the gun?
Yeah, so Jessie actually, she does know we have a gun, but she wasn't exactly sure where. I think she had a rough idea that it was kept in our bedroom. We did actually find Sydney snooping around in our in the drawer in our office where or where we keep the combination, but it's just a series of 3 numbers with no label on it. It doesn't say gun safe or anything like that. It's just 3 numbers that we keep in a file.
Okay. And I can imagine this has been very difficult for you and your wife. Do you have any questions for us at this point in terms of any laws or things that we can do to make our representation more effective?
Not anything that I can think of, no.
Okay. Well, I will obviously relay this on to my attorneys, and they will get back to you with any possible ways we can proceed forward with the case. I can tell you right now that there is various liability laws in place that Midlands uses to ensure that justice can be brought. If you have any questions, I will give you my contact information.
Awesome. Great. Thanks.